This week on the Misfit podcast, we talk about 15.5 and how you don't really have to worry about anything.
I want to touch you all over and over again.
Dun, dun, dun.
Till the night closes in. No clue what you're talking.
Not excited. What was that?
All right, guys, April 10th to the 12th, we will be at Drake and CrossFit in Williamsburg, Virginia for a training camp. You can sign up at misfitathletics.com/training camps. We are working on our summer tour dates right now.
Yes, we are.
We've got a couple of spots filled between June and the games, and we're looking for 3 or 4 more hosts. We've got a few applications in, so if you want to apply to host a camp, it's misfitathletics.com/host-a-camp. You fill in the application there, and then you get added to the list. Again, we're trying to fill from the games through September, somewhere around there. We have partnered up with Romwad, and you can use the discount code MISFIT to get 25% off.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a deal.
Yeah, it's good stuff. If you had to describe Romwad in one word, what would it be?
Flexibility.
Bendy.
Why do you have to say that? I'm leaving.
Ramwad is a seems like a yoga program for CrossFit athletes. We've been using it 4 to 5 days a week. It's me, Gabe, Cody, Drew, Ted, pretty much everybody here. Seth.
Wow. Thanks, bro.
Seth, too.
Don't worry. I
We've
haven't
been all
been
been doing
using
it together, and we found that it's helped us focus a little bit more on our flexibility because that's something we all tend to ignore because it's not as cool as lifting barbells or
True.
I don't know, other things CrossFit related, but it's a pretty cool program.
So the code is MISFIT, 25% off to Romwad. We were actually turned on to Romwad by some of our athletes that were already following it, and we've been using it a lot here at HQ, and it's been working really well for everybody. So
Highly recommended.
Romwad.com.
Drew, who won the T-shirts?
Julia Avery and Noah Gush.
How did
sweet.
they win?
They were a random subscriber to our YouTube channel.
Wow. So if other people subscribe to our channel, they might be able to win stuff in the future.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, what a novel idea. So we've been getting a lot of questions about what the program is going to look like for the people that made it to regionals or teams, individuals, whatever. We will have a spot on the site where you can enter a password. It's going to go on sale starting Saturday, and the first day of the regionals prep will start on Tuesday. Schedule's changing a little bit to help you guys get accustomed to that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 day in a row kind of test that you'll see in May. You want to talk more about it?
Yeah, so you can go to misfitgear.com. Once you sign up for either the individual programming or the team programming, we'll get a notification and we'll email you guys the password. The password might change throughout the time, but you'll keep getting updates sent to you. Also, for anybody that's wondering what the programming is going to look like moving forward, if you did not make it to regionals,
Still free.
podcast number 10 will be up on the site with the first day of programming on Sunday night into Monday morning. So we know we've been getting a lot of questions about that. So we did a whole podcast on it, and you guys can see that on Sunday night.
Cody, first impressions, 15.5. This workout's built for you.
Yeah, I like rowing. I mean, thrusters has to be unbroken, things like that. I actually thought they were going to do another workout at the end. I thought they'd be like 2 pieces. But, hey, it's that workout where you can go unbroken, you can push as hard as you can, and if you're on that line, he always does something where you can – it's your choice to make it to regionals or not. So if you want to push as hard as you can, then there you go. If you don't, you're not going to make it.
Should all the top 20 be able to do this or do the thrusters unbroken? Is that like his? Do you think that's like the threshold that he's set for those people?
Yeah,
that
I think
wanna
if you
get
don't do your thrusters unbroken and you're on that line, you're not going to regionals. I think so, yes.
Wow, pretty serious statement.
It has to be.
Gotta be
I think
fast.
there's going to be plenty of people that can.
So if someone breaks up to 27 and they take like a 3 or 4 second rest and they pick the bar back up, can those 3 or 4 seconds cost them 50 points and bump them out? What do you think? Is it going to be that tight?
I think it's going to be very tight, but I think if you're breaking up to 27, that's just going to I think you need to go in with the mentality that you're not going to break up, because if you do, then the 21s are going to be harder than the 27. You'll have that same mentality. There's another 3 seconds, stuff like that. I mean, athlete to athlete.
Hold on to unbroken, the easier it is to keep
Exactly.
unbroken. The second you give that up
Right.
mentally, that's big.
Exactly.
So this is kind of like this just reminds us of one of those mental toughness, bitch work, things that we've programmed big unbroken sets into stuff on purpose to make sure that people know that they can do things like this. I mean, this workout's kind of like a misfit dream come true.
Yeah,
right?
It really is.
Work.
So
Yeah.
it's
something
raw.
every
It's very
day.
raw.
Just hurt.
It's so simple that I was kind of taken back by it. I wanted more. I don't know if I wanted more skill, but I guess I just see all the time our athletes doing these type of workouts over and over again, and they do really well with them because of how much they practice this. So I don't know why I expected to see more, but
Good thing for us.
yeah,
It
it's
really
good.
is.
It's good. Kind of anticlimactic though, right?
It's pretty
end
much
of
of a
end
downer,
of a
yeah.
season with a workout that's not that fun to watch.
I anticipated way more with that little teaser video they put out on Instagram earlier, where it was like, "It's gonna hurt." I mean, it is gonna hurt. It is gonna hurt, but like,
Yeah.
I expected something that
But
much,
I mean,
much
they
more
obviously
painful to them.
They didn't leave the movements that you think that would be a pretty workout that they could do something with. I mean, you knew that the movements that they had left was just
Yeah, burpees
Pain
don't change
cave.
that workout that much. It's still a very similar.
exactly.
Can you
If
imagine
you
they added
throw
burpees?
burpees in there, though, I think that creates, the more
Separation.
time, it creates more separation. The more time you give somebody to have to work, the more they have to prove. That's the only negative thing I feel about this workout is that it's going to be so tight. The top
So someone can fudge
100
it?
in each region. Well, I'm not worried about people fudging it. I mean, you can shortchange a thruster with the lockout, or you can not squat to depth. But
I mean,
the
like the
rower's
people who aren't as
straightforward.
good a shape, they could get away with, maybe they don't have that capacity beyond the 5 minutes, but they can get by because this is like 5 to 6
No,
minutes.
I
or-
think that you're going to find a lot of athletes that have very similar capacities, and the ones that are, that top 20 versus that top 50 level aren't going to be able to break out as much to make up those points near the end of the competition. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. It's interesting. There's no tie break time like in the piece. I
I
don't know
didn't
when
see.
it would be.
There,
Yeah,
there
it
may
might
be
but
in
I don't know. I
the
didn't-
standards. We just watched, so I haven't looked at the site yet. But yeah, I mean, what do you think about how close people will be?
I think it'll be pretty close. What's good about this is seconds are a little bit easier than reps. So like if this was an AMRAP, I feel like people would be a lot closer. But the fact that it's 1 second, I think it's going to deviate enough, especially with getting on and off the rower, bigger people having a pretty decent advantage.
Huge advantage.
Huge advantage. I don't know. I mean, we've been talking about there are no tricks for weeks, but in the other workouts, there was, technique, there was, a few
Right.
different things. You might watch a video that says you need knee sleeves and you need Oli shoes, but Cody's going to beat you barefoot in a snowsuit. It doesn't matter.
need fives
None of the
just stacked.
things that
Right.
you're trying to think of, that everyone's trying to think of, matter at all.
No tricks.
How hard can you go? How bad do you want it? There's your outcome. Like there's nothing to talk about.
Right. I know. What have they done to the show? They've crushed our show for this week.
They have.
I guess the first thing that pops in my head, we talked about the bigger guys having the advantage, is immediately I worry for our littler guys that are 5'6" and shorter. When you look at 6'2" Sherb and 6'1" Cody, you have
That's right, I'm
you have
taller.
no
Cody's hair is 6'1".
That's true. But just really no chance of having fair output with these guys. Just mechanically, they're able to produce more power on the rower. There's just nothing they can do about it. How do the smaller guys kind of adapt to that? Do you think they have to come into a new level of mental toughness to hold on to that bar? I mean, it becomes more important for them to go unbroken the rest of the way, faster transitions.
I think
How do
their-
they
I
recover?
think their transitions and their cycle time with their thrusters need to be faster. They need to be actively like pulling the bar back down to their shoulders. They can't just kind of let the bar fall with gravity. They actually have to pull the bar back down and squat with speed, as opposed to someone who can get away with. You watch Sam Briggs and Annie do their kind of tempo, top,
kinda
breathe, come back down. Over
What
and
you
over
just
again.
asked is what we just saw. Like,
Yep.
probably Camille had the fastest thrusters out of the three girls, but she couldn't keep up in the rower. She knew she couldn't, but she did what she could.
She didn't look like she really wanted to from the start. I mean, did you see the same fire in her eyes that you
No.
saw the other two girls? She
No,
didn't. She
out
didn't.
of it.
I think when not to derail you, but I
No.
think when the workout got announced, she went, I can't beat those two in a rowing competition, so I'm just going to go through the motions. It's what it seemed like to me anyway. But
Yeah, but I mean, still, like I said, she did what she had to when she got to the bar. It was fast. It was unbroken. It was no transition time. So.
yep. And shorter people have the advantage in the thruster. It's a
Exactly.
shorter range
Yep.
of motion, but still not equal to the power output that a bigger guy has in the rower.
No.
It's a little give and take, but shorter guys are definitely going to have to.
As we know with Gabe, though, I mean
You're gonna be freaking tough. Me and Tough are gonna help you a lot in this.
exactly. Gabe's
Right.
the type of person that does really well in rowing workouts because he doesn't consider the fact that he's tiny when he gets onto the rower. He goes all out. If you have that mentality, you're going to be fine. I'm 6 feet tall. I suck at rowing. I'm a pussy. Like, you know, what do you want me to say? Like, Gabe's going to smoke me all day long. I can drive with my legs way harder than him. I have more leverage. You know,
Right.
Gabe's tough. So I guess if you're short and weak, then we're short and weak-minded. You're in really big
If
trouble.
you're short and weak-minded, you didn't get to this
Yeah,
point that it
that's
matters
true. Yeah,
anyway.
it's
It doesn't
not
matter
for you.
anymore. You're already out. So
Right.
it's just for fun at this point. What do you think? Anything else about the workout? I mean, it's just so simple. There's
Yeah, I think you
Nothing
just
to worry
work on
about.
staying upright with your thrusters. Try to squat over and over again, not walk around the gym when you're doing them. Drive through your heels, and
I think we're doing people a disservice if we talk for too much longer.
I think so too.
yeah, I think
just
just
go
gotta
do the
go.
work.
last thing I'll bring up. We saw some pretty bad rowing technique. The basics were really far off in the demo we just watched. Would you recommend that anyone tries to fix their rowing coming into this workout, or just stick with what they have at this point, work with what they have, and then try to fix it for next season? Is it something
If
that
you're a quad dominant rower, you go from quad dominant rowing to the Olympic style squat. Obviously, our knees track out in front of our toes a little bit more to be able to maintain a vertical torso.
Yep.
So if you're the type of person that lifts your heels up and lets your butt go back to your heels, and then you push off with your quads, I mean, that burn is going to be bad. So what's really good is if you row properly, you can use your hamstrings and then switch to quads and the thruster, switch back to your hamstrings.
How many people at camp that were hating on our rowing is now going, oh shit, that's why they keep telling us to use our hamstrings and glutes and not quads.
Yep.
Amazing how that matters so much in this sport and less in actually just rowing. Deal with people all the time that are like, oh, I was a rower in college. I was on the U.S. team. I taught my cousin's brother how to row a boat in
Yeah,
the
it's more
lake.
like that.
I'll show you how to do it.
Showed Steve how to
And
row.
When we just talk about the simple things
Gush.
about using more posterior chain and less anterior, because CrossFit itself, typically you burn out the anterior chain a lot faster. We got a lot of negative feedback about that, but now they're all going, oh shit, no, okay, that makes more sense in the sport. So
Yep.
hopefully that pays off for some of you guys. Anything else? Final thoughts? 15.5.
Just good luck. Don't overthink it. Just get it. It's there for the taking
How many times can someone go through this?
every day, as much as you want.
Oh, I wouldn't be walking.
I mean,
up
if you're on the
stairs if I did
line,
this.
why
Primer.
not?
Primer is big for this one.
Yes.
Make sure you go to misfitathletics.com for the primer tomorrow.
Yeah.
Getting
You know
your
what,
heart rate spiked and then all the way back down. It's going to be very important to be sweaty and
I'd say they want to
feeling
feel
good.
a little hurt with their heart rate in the primer before
true.
they do this.
Very
I mean,
true.
You want to do almost a mini workout, come back down, prep yourself with the movements, get set up, and then go. So you'll find something like that on the website. All right.
That's it.
Cool.
Get it.